Chia has been dubbed the green altcoin. How exactly is it greener than Bitcoin?
Well, first of all, instead of relying on electricity and custom hardware to prove that you're correctly validating the chain, we instead rely on unused hard drive space. And what you do is you fill your space with what is the equivalent of a bingo card, and you just store it on your drive until you happen to win that challenge and get the chance to validate a transaction. And hard drives use significantly less power. If all the hard drives that we're going to ship this year, a whole zettabyte worth, were compared to just, say, Ethereum, that's like 1/10 the total energy usage per year.
So if Chia really takes off, though, then doesn't that create a need for more storage, a need for more hard drives, which ultimately creates more waste, and then that's another problem for the environment?
Well, look, there's two things that are important here. Thing one is, better than what? A bicycle is much more efficient than a Tesla, but that doesn't mean that we don't want Teslas to compete with SUVs. We are a much greener alternative with more security, in fact, than both Bitcoin and Ethereum. We have about 500,000 nodes compared to Bitcoin's 40,000 nodes. But actually what we're doing is we're putting used hard drives back in service. When Facebook or Box gets to the 4-year end of life of those drives, they get sold to recyclers, and what's been happening is our farmers have been buying those, and instead of them going to a landfill, are farming them.
So you just announced plans to go public, and as I understand it, the plan is to become an exchange, a broader payment system. Can you talk to us about what the overall ambitions are?
Yeah, we believe that blockchain should have gotten product market fit in 2017, but there were regulatory problems, and the functionality that was available on most chains really wasn't yet ready for enterprise or government adoption. Our new on-chain programming environment, Chia Lisp, is very much designed to support things like central bank digital currencies, distributed exchanges, so things like carbon credit markets, later equities. And one of the things we did very differently is we've taken the company form to drive the adoption of a blockchain. We expect to build kind of a Red Hat business where we're supporting the adoption of blockchain infrastructure for the people who need it. And our strategy to go public is very much a product strategy. For a lot of companies, going public is an exit. For us, it actually helps clarify the regulations. It kind of makes it more clear that this is our equity versus these are our coins, which are a commodity. And it also allows our users to, for example, use our equity to shield themselves from some of the coin volatility that these coins often have.
Now, there's been some backlash against Chia for being a for-profit company, backlash around the timing of the IPO. Chia's founder, Bram Cohen, also the inventor of BitTorrent, recently tweeted, "I'd like to emphasize we aren't selling any tokens, have raised money under normal investment terms, and Chia is not a security. Some community members are being obnoxiously entitled and should knock it off." What's your response to the pushback?
Well, we are trying to build a real community of civility and actual interest in the technology. This is a 30-plus year opportunity, and we're no rush to try to be there first. What we want to do is to actually go and solve the real problems people have. Things like being able to transfer money between banks in 2 different countries. Things like sending money home to Guatemala. These things should be easier to do than cash. They should be cheaper than they currently are. And those are the things we're really focused on. There certainly is a bit of a gold rush effect where people want to get in early for Chia farming. And Chia farming is very approachable. It's not super easy, not yet, and we will make it easier. But I think there's some frustration, and especially around a detail, which is pooling, allowing people to kind of share their rewards. But we're going to have that for people very shortly.
You say it's greener than Bitcoin. Is it greener than Ethereum, too?
So the thing about Ethereum, too, is that, well, it's going to be available in 3 months for the last 2 years. We don't think proof of stake is actually secure when you start talking about intergovernment kind of competitions. Proof of stake has all sorts of problems that really Nakamoto consensus, which is what Bitcoin is and which we are evolved from, really fixed. There are problems like every proof of stake chain is available for 50.1% of the value of the chain, and if you were to buy it, you own it for the future. Where like Bitcoin or Chia can recover from a 51% attack and keep going.
Now, obviously, there's been a lot of volatility in the crypto market in general, but the Chia coin itself has been super volatile since launch. What do you make of that?
Well, I think it was trying to find a price, and I think it has now found a price. If you kind of look at it over the last 2 weeks, it's been in a, call it $600 to $1,100 range. In crypto, that's a narrow range. For other folks, that's not as usual a range that they're used to.
So I do want to ask you one last question about Elon Musk. You mentioned Tesla earlier, and obviously Elon Musk has had a lot of influence on price fluctuations over the last several weeks. Do you think that's a good thing, or is that unhealthy?
Well, you know, I think at least Elon was looking at the right issues, which are that cryptocurrency is the way of the future, but that there are real concerns around the carbon footprint that Ethereum and Bitcoin have today. But, you know, I will say it this way, celebrities will be celebrities. You know, we're very much more focused on actually getting this blockchain adopted by real users.
So you think he's just a celebrity?
Well, certainly not in the rocket business or in the car business or the solar business, but in the blockchain space, you know, I like to joke. He once tweeted that he wanted blockchains to be 10 times faster and 10 times cheaper, and I'm hoping that my Plaid Model S is going to be 10 times cheaper too.